Yorick, the final remnant of an ancient and forgotten religious order, carries both the blessing and the burden of commanding the dead. Bound to the cursed lands of the Shadow Isles, he moves among decaying corpses and wailing spirits, the only companions left to him. Though his deeds may seem monstrous, they are driven by a single noble purpose: to lift the curse of the Ruination from his homeland. Welcome back, Lord Lovers, to Landrag, the place where stories find their voice. Today we step into the shadowed ruins of the Blessed Isles, following the path of a man caught between life and death. Yorick, the last living member of a long-forgotten religious order, bears both the blessing and the curse of commanding the dead. Bound to the Shadow Isles, he finds companionship only among rotting corpses and wailing spirits drawn to him. Though his deeds appear monstrous, they are driven by a single goal: to free his homeland from the grip of the Ruination. From childhood, Yorick's life was anything but ordinary. Raised in a small fishing village at the edge of the Blessed Isles, he struggled to find acceptance among his peers. While other children played carefree games, Yorick found his companions among the spirits of the recently deceased. At first, the sight and sound of the dead filled him with terror. Whenever death visited the village, Yorick would spend sleepless nights, bracing for the chilling cries of new spectral visitors. He could not understand why they sought him out, nor why his parents dismissed them as mere nightmares. With time, he came to see that these spirits meant no harm. They are simply lost, yearning for guidance. Alone in his ability to see and hear them, Yorick took it upon himself to lead them toward whatever awaited them beyond life. Yorick's task was a bittersweet one. He cherished the company of the spirits, yet each soul he guided onward meant bidding farewell to another friend. To the dead he was a savior, to the living a patriarch. The villagers saw only a troubled boy who spoke to invisible companions. Stories of Yorick's strange gift soon traveled beyond his village, reaching the ears of a small monastic order at the heart of the Blessed Isles. Believing his abilities could serve their fate, envoys from the order came to seek him out. Yorick agreed to leave his home and journey to their monastery, where he was introduced to the ways of the Brethren of the Dusk. Each monk carried a spade, symbolizing their sacred duty to perform proper burial rites so that souls would not lose their way. Around their necks, they wore vials filled with water from the Blessed Isles' sacred spring, the tears of life, representing their obligation to heal the living. Despite his efforts, Yorick could never win the acceptance of his new brothers. To them, he was living proof of things that should be grasped only through faith, a reminder of their own struggles. His power, so effortlessly wielded, stirred resentment among them, and once more, Yorick found himself isolated and alone. One morning, while tending to the cemetery, Yorick witnessed a horrifying sight: a pitch-black cloud boiling across the Blessed Isles, devouring all in its path. He tried to flee, but the darkness overtook him, plunging him into a world of shadow. Around him, life twisted and warped under the corruption of the black mist. People, animals, even the plants contorted into monstrous, grotesque versions of themselves. Whispers floated through the turbulent air, and Yorick watched as his fellow monks clawed at the vials around their necks, as if the sacred water burned them. Moments later, he stood frozen as their souls were torn from their bodies, leaving only cold, pale husks behind. Amid the fading screams of his brethren, Yorick alone could still hear the voices in the mist, hissing and urging him, "Remove it, join us, we will become one." Yorick felt his fingers inching toward the vial at his neck, but with all his will, he forced his hands away and commanded the shrieking souls to cease. The black mist twisted violently around him before darkness swallowed him whole. If you are enjoying the journey through the forgotten history of Yorick, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, Lord Lovers. Your support helps Landrag grow stronger and gives the power to bring you even more stories from across the worlds we love. Let's keep these tales alive together. When Yorick awoke, the Blessed Isles had vanished, replaced by the nightmarish landscape of the Shadow Isles. The winds had stilled, but tendrils of the black mist clung to him, seeking to corrupt the last living soul in their grasp. As the mist coiled tighter, it recoiled from the vial around his neck. Yorick clutched the blessed water, understanding it was the only thing keeping him alive. In the days that followed, he roamed the ruins, searching for survivors, but finding only the grotesque remnants of once living beings. Whenever he walked, he witnessed spirits rising from the corpses of the dead. Piece by piece, Yorick uncovered the truth. A king, desperate to resurrect his queen, had brought ruin to the Isles. In seeking life, he had unleashed death. Yorick longed to find this ruined king and undo the devastation he had caused. Yet surrounded by endless death, he felt powerless. Lost in his grief, Yorick turned once more to the spirits, seeking comfort as he had in his youth. But as he communed with the mist, he discovered a new power. The dead he had once buried now rose at his command. From the depths of despair, a faint hope emerged. To free the Shadow Isles, Yorick would wield the strength of the very curse that had damned them. To end the darkness, he would have to become its master. Now that we have unraveled the sorrowful tale of Yorick, it is time to delve deeper into the bonds he formed and the clashes he endured. His journey was shaped not only by his battles against the mist, but also by those he stood beside or against. Let us explore the figures who crossed his path and how their fates intertwined with his own. Elawi's fate would have once demanded that she destroy a man like Yorick. Yet, her recent experiences had broadened her view enough to allow cooperation. In their philosophical debates, Yorick argued that guiding the dead to peace held greater value than forcing them back into the endless cycle of life. His ability to command the spirits and bend the black mist aligned with the Buru belief in the law of motion, whether by subduing the mist or freeing tormented souls. Yorick was driven by a dream, the destruction of the ruined king who had doomed Helia. This relentless pursuit demanded great sacrifice. Yorick left behind his sanctuary with Ilawi during the first attempt, and later surrendered both the maiden and his water of life to aid the sentinels in a second effort. Yet even in victory, disappointment followed. Viego's banishment brought no end to the black mist, and Yorick's burden remained. When Yorick encountered the Sentinels of Light, he placed his hopes in their strength. He entrusted them with his most precious powers, the Maiden and the Sacred Water of Life, believing they would be vital to defeating Viego. In sacrificing these gifts, Yorick once again shouldered the heavy cost of hope in a world steeped in despair. And so ends the sorrowful chapter of Yorick, the last hope of a cursed land. If this story stirred your spirit, lore lovers, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Lion Drag. And if you wish to keep the conversation alive, join our Discord, a cozy gathering place where fellow lore lovers dive deep into the mysteries of every world. Until next time, keep the fire of curiosity burning bright.